Hi, this is Leigh Ambergy, stampwithleigh.com. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Mentor, Ohio. Thank you for stopping by today. This is the card I'm going to be working on today and showing you. And it uses my favorite bundle in the mini catalog, the More Than Autumn stamp set and the dies. And then on this, I have also used two online exclusives. I have used the Happy Little labels, and that's for these labels here. This coordinates with a bundle with the stamp set. Of course, you can buy the stamp set or the dies separate, but the dies are just these two, in a sense, banner dies, and this is what I've used for that. And then also, to get my texture, my background, I've used Of Art and Texture. I used this stamp and this stamp. So that to see, and let's see, my colors are Summer Splash, Pecan Pie, Cajun Craze, Pumpkin Pie. Then I've also used some blends for my coloring, and I've just used the Pumpkin Pie, Ivory, and Pecan Pie. So let's get started. I have done almost all of the stamping and the die cutting ahead, just because the card's a little involved. I know if you're a regular follower, you're used to seeing very basic card layouts, but this really, I throw one of these in every now and then just to show you that it's just layers of stamping and layers of die cutting. I mean, basically that's all this card is just layers. But I want you to notice on this card, this is where I've cut out my pumpkin season with the dies, and then I've just sort of staggered my little banners. On this card, I double cut. So I cut two of the pumpkin, two of the season, and stacked those to give it just a little bit more oomph. And on this one, after I layered these together, and then I put them up with dimensionals. So just a few little differences, but yeah. And this one, I had an extra pumpkin, so I just after I die cut it, I stuck it inside. On this card, I just stamped it and did that. So let's just get started. All of the measurements and a listing of all the products that I'm using for this card will be listed on my blog, Stamp with Leigh. If you're watching this from my YouTube channel, just please in the description box, open it up if it's not open, and just copy and paste the link I have there, and that will take you to this blog post. So I know that's going to go inside. And then this is just layering. And again, if you followed me before, you know I do what's called dry cutting. So I knew the colors I wanted to use. I knew I wanted to use the Summer Splash and the Pumpkin Pie. So that's what I started with. And then once I sort of figured out what I wanted, I did some die cutting. So on this, you can see I've cut my pumpkin season out, and I cut it out twice because I wanted to stack my dies. I wanted to make them just a little bit thicker. And then I cut this banner from the center of here because I'm covering all of this up. This is all going to be layered just like this. So again, once I knew I had my colors, then it was like, okay, what elements do I want to use? And I don't just start gluing. I sort of just lay things down and then work from it. And when I know I have what I want, then that's when I start doing my die cutting or actually assembling pieces parts. So if you forget and you don't do this, just pull out some scraps. But this way I know this is what I'm using and that's what I'm working with. So on this is all of my Of Art and Texture on here. And this is Cajun Craze, the Summer Splash, and the Pumpkin Pie. And I stamped off on my like splats. But what I want to do is start building some of this right here. So I've got my greeting, and I've got all of this. And I do know I want my pumpkin season at the bottom. So I think I am going to go ahead right now and layer that on. So I have my multi-purpose glue, and this is the glue that's in the green and white bottle in our catalog. I have just put it in a very fine tip bottle, which that's easier for me to get this exactly where I want it. And if you notice, I am not using, I'm not coating this whole thing. I'm just putting dots on here because that's what's the easiest for me to work with. I have reverse tweezers. And again, I know I want this here at the bottom. So that's where I've got that. Okay, let me put my pumpkin on top of that. And again, I am doing this before I add anything else on because I know this is going in that bottom right corner. Okay, there we go with that. Pick this up. Okay, there we go, pumpkin season. And I want to make sure that stays. So I'm just going to put some clear blocks while I work on this coffee cup. So now this is just my little coffee cup, and I want to show you something. I put all of the stamps I was using, which is right here, onto a block, stamped it on a piece of cardstock, and then die cut everything out. You could individually put on a block and stamp. This card was used for a class, so I kind of needed to speed up the process. And all I did was I started off with a scrap of, actually I probably pulled out a piece of white cardstock. And then I sort of laid, let's just show you real quick. I sort of put upside down my stamps on here, and then figuring out, okay, how much space do I need for dies, and then you just take, let's just show you this. Let's do that. And then that's how I knew what to cut for my cardstock. So we'll just do that. Okay, that should give me still enough room. And then I just put my block on top of that, peeled my paper off, and there's my stamps ready to go. So all of these were stamped with pecan pie. I did not want like the harsh lines with the Memento tuxedo black, so I just used pecan pie to stamp everything. And I like that it goes more with the colors in my card. All right, I want to find do I have a mini dimensional? Yes, I do. Attach my little pumpkin, the mini dimensional, put that there. And then I'm going to glue my little cinnamon stick. And I colored my cinnamon stick with pecan pie. The cup and the whipped cream were with the ivory blends. And my little pumpkin was with pumpkin pie. And then I am going to put a thin layer of liquid glue along the bottom here because I want dimensionals on the back of this. So I'm going to set that there. And I want that to make sure it sticks. So I'm just going to move some clear blocks over there. So we've got that going. And then let me put these together. So I'm going to have this on the bottom, this on the top. I want to stagger them. I'm going to just put just a very little bit of liquid adhesive. think that looks even. Kinda. Maybe. There we go. I like that. And then now I want Nothing's Better on top of here. Okay. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. Just put a little bit there. That's going there. Looks kind of straight. So again, I'm just going to stick those there. All right, I am going to next, I'm not going to attach this, but I want to put my elements on here and pretty much just sort of lay them out for my blobs to see how my blobs are. When I made these two cards, I ended up going back and adding because I was covering up mostly everything. But I think this one might end up being okay with where I'm going to put stuff. And I think I do like it, like right in through there. So I don't think, I'm not going to go back and add anything to this. So now comes the part of putting all of our parts together. So I'm not going to need my liquid adhesive because I'm just going to pull out my tape runner and I'm going to use that. And I'm just going to start layering my pieces. So I'm going to layer my pumpkin pie onto my summer splash. It looks like it has an even border. Next, I'm going to do my basic toy here that I've done my stamping. I have all my stamping on. And of course, I've run out of adhesive. That never fails. All right, so let's get this on and hopefully I can get it pretty much centered with the even border. Maybe. That looks good. Okay. Good enough. I like that. I'm going to put this onto my card base. There's my card base, and now I'm going to add my elements. So let me get some. Do I have any? I can't find any dimensionals down here. Let's see what I have. Well, this has parts on them. It's got a few of them. It's got one regular size. But, you know, hey, this is going to work. Because dimensionals are dimensionals, and we're going to use all of them. Well, that was something. I was figuring I could pull off maybe at least two. Let's see if I can get one in the middle. I think that's going to be good. So let's get the backings off of here. And I really love all the color on this. I think the summer splash gives it a little pop of something extra. I mean, let's face it, pecan pie and Cajun craze and pumpkin pie, I think we all associate that with fall, but I think this splash, where do I want this? Let's just put it up. Let's put it up here. I think this pop of summer splash just gives it a little something extra. Even though it's a fall Thanksgiving-ish card, doesn't mean you can't add another color just to pop it up in there. So again, this is it. I know a little bit more stamping than you're used to with me, but it's still very basic layering card. So thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Bye.